so they'll be calling you a radical. So Dana Dunford has had a serious heart attack. He's fighting for his life. He's in a hospital right now. I talked to him via text last night. He was able to text. He sent me a photograph, but he said he's in very bad shape. Now, this is an important video. So, several months ago, he started to have issues. Well, he's been having issues for about a year. And in and out of hospitals, whatever, kidney, liver, they're blaming it on, blah, blah, blah. And I told him a few months ago, I said, Dana, sounds like to me the heart. And I guess last week, I got a call because he didn't do a show on Friday. You know, he's fatigued, he got some chest pains, maybe something fell on him working on one of his vehicles. Same thing with me at the exact same time. Last September, I started feeling it in my chest. Now, this is the abuse, you know, of the anti-nuclear community, which basically Dana and I, you know, have been at it. So, this has been 12 years, Fukushima. The burden, oh, it's beyond heavy. You have no clue. The slander? You don't think the slander every time? There's a certain professor in Canada who viciously attacks me every time I get anything. You know, I won't mention his name. These people go after us. You know, the nuclear energy, I mean, the slander's over the top. It's hardcore. The burden that we have carried for 12 years, the stress, the economic strife, I mean, take this on. You're done. You're done financially. I got blackballed at the university. I mean, the captured, this is a serious, well, it's the greatest criminal enterprise in human history. The nuclear energy crime syndicate since the 1930s, 40s. You know, the movie's coming out, Oppenheimer. I could write a whole book just on it. I used to talk to Frank all the time. I've been at this my whole life. You know, they'll panty paint that. They'll conflate it. Look what they did to Oppenheimer. This is important. Einstein. Look what they did to Albert Einstein. We still worship Einstein as being the great genius, which he is one of the greatest. I'm a big, giant, I'm one of his pupils. I've been all over Einstein's philosophy since a little boy. Albert Einstein was an anti-nuclear activist, hardcore. Albert Einstein was a peace activist, hardcore. You know, why don't we talk about that? Oppenheimer, anti-nuclear, hardcore, Andrei Sakharov, all these people were involved. Now, Fermi, I bet $1 it kills everybody in New Mexico. These are monsters. Not Oppenheimer. I mean, look what they did to him. They destroyed him. They destroyed freaking Einstein. You know, the nuclear energy crime center are ruthless. And they have all the power. And we go along. This burden is heavy. So no wonder. You know, I equate it somewhat to Aaron Swartz, you know. Did they hang him? Yeah, I was in the court. You know, they put the table and kicked it out from underneath him. 35 years for downloading a server. Nothing violent. Never hurt anyone. Our own government, the Department of Energy, the Department of Nuclear Energy, the slander is unbelievable. I mean, literally, dozens of Facebook pages. YouTube sites, 100% nothing but to slander Dana and I in an epic way. What, for trying to get the truth out? I know the truth. So does he. Not to mention the work. I mean, I'm still doing the work. I was. Right up to this heart attack. I was in San Diego now. I'm doing my tide pool work. It's brutal. With no money. I sleep in a sleeping bag. I mean, showing up at hearings. It's just the greatest event in human history. Is the meltdowns of Fukushima. And I want to ask you people. Why are we so afraid of nuclear meltdowns until they happen? We've never had a nuclear meltdown in the history of mankind. Didn't happen in Chernobyl. Chernobyl was one partially graphite reactor that blew up. And 700,000 men entombed it. Never happened to Mayak, which is nasty. Santa Susana, you don't even know about Santa Susana. Look it up. And you wonder why everybody gets cancer in LA. They've been covering up this from the beginning. They've been covering this up since Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Do you know that the United States government to this day has never released the real footage of the carnage? They have it. Well, on the 75th anniversary, which me and my grandson went to the Enola Gay Hangar, historic footage, Russia put out some. The United States has it all. To this day, it's not out. Now, who owns this country? Einstein called it the dumbest freaking technology on earth. He said you've taken as far. So there's been another accident in Irwin, Tennessee. What do they do there? They centrifuge the uranium-238 into 235. It's so filthy and disgusting. I just sent 5 people to the hospital. Nothing to see. It's toxic. It's dirty. It's filthy. People think, oh, it's clean. Boil the whole, hell of a way to boil a planet. Kevin Blanch. Einstein used to say, hell of a way to boil water. You've taken this technology as far as... He used to laugh at the Mox fuel theories, the revitrification. He used to laugh at them. He was right. It's just a cash cow. The Department of Energy was started as a Department of Nuclearism. They opened up the money spigot to these freaking monsters migrated from Europe. They did it to Europe. I will quote, this is important on the nuclear thesis, which came first, the chicken or the egg? They're there to make nuclear bombs, to make people rich, to control power and wealth. Because of Price Anderson, the Immunity Act of 87, the free money that flows to them, it's like these little SMRs. There is no SMR. Here's what they do. They get a big check up front from the Department of Energy, the grants, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then they go into delay tactics. And they go into delay tactics for decades and decades and decades, live their lives filthy, stinking rich. There's no SMRs. Never will. Remember Utah funding them. They're funding Bill Gates in Kemmer, Wyoming for these. The guy who stole the operating, we had a trial in 2011. I was in the bone marrow transplant at LDS fighting for my life, or I'd have been there protesting. One juror held out. Oh, they don't buy off freaking jurors. No, they don't get to jurors. Sugar wars, molasses wars, textile wars, cocaine cowboys, plutonium wars. This is the greatest criminal enterprise in human history. It's a wonder. Dana and I both have heart attacks at the exact same time, and both were preventable. He'd been in the hospital multiple times, telling him. They wait till it. Same with me. I said, it's my own valve they replaced. They're supposed to be monitoring my valve. I'm telling doctors I can feel it burning in my valve. It's shooting down my arm. The pain. I'm feeling numbness in my face. Oh, no. Does it get bad? I says, it pops open when I'm walking hard. They wait till I have a heart attack. My perfectly good artery that runs up into my... which was perfect. Every time they get in my heart, they're like, God, I can't believe how perfect your heart is. They destroyed my perfectly. It ripped. I had 2 heart attacks. So Dana and I both have heart attacks at the same time. Wonder why. Stay in this fight. And we've been right the whole time. Done the work, whatever. The stress is overwhelming. I mean, just sit and you're doing all this hard work with no money, no backing, nobody, gives you the time of day. The internet slander us, kettle us, do everything they can, attack us viciously every way they can, every which way but loose. And you don't think that's affects us physically, Minnie? I'm only human. Kevin reached into the bag and he slung the stone. And the American sheep go along. Yay, nuclear energy, clean, green, too cheap to meter. Fuck is filthy, dirty, Stand on the state line, turn uranium-238 into 235. You have no clue about the uranium enrichment process. What's in a nuclear reactor? Not uranium-238 from the Earth. They mine that nightmare telling's hanging out all over. But then they have to, they're on Tennessee, Illinois, Ontario, Canada. They have to centrifuge it. It's one of the filthiest, nasty, disgusting, well, it is the filthiest. It makes coal look like freaking sunshine. How do they do that? Collide the atom, split the atom, nuclear fission, salt reactor, thorium reactor, all bullshit. Total bullshit. Einstein was right. 80 years of this cash cow freaking rip-off pork of the nuclear energy crime scene, and the American sheep still believe we're going to have 19 reactors in Utah by 2019. Sure they are. I'm the only guy fighting it in the inception. The original funding for NuScale came from Kenwood Financial, which was a Ponzi scheme out of South America. The mob. The guy's doing 120 years in a South American prison to put up the money. Fraud by inception. It's all fraud. And and it's coming right out of your freaking electrical bill in here in Utah. You're paying whatever you want or not. We paid hundreds of millions of dollars. For what? There's no reactors. There's no such thing. And then they just walk away, right off into the sunset in their yacht. And the sheep believe we're going to be on the winning team. When they centrifuge it, they hit it with hex gas. Look up what hex gas is. They spin it in this centrifugal giant things. It leaves a 98% byproduct. The atoms collide. They go into separation. They have to extract. They create what we call free radicals. What's a free radical? Let's see, just plutonium. Isn't that what the Hulk's made of? Spider-Man had. No, it kills you. It leaves a 98% byproduct. That's just the ones Californium, Tennesseeum, plutonium. Well, we don't even know half of them are released. You can look at the cancer rate post the bomb, post Fukushima. The tide pool work, you're going to chalk that to coincidence. The tide pools collapsed in 2012. The Pacific Ocean was teeming, thriving with life in 2011. Thriving, that's unarguable. It crashed epically, the wells. We have all the data. It's unarguable science, but of course the people aren't going to believe because we didn't see it from Stanford, the most corrupt institution on the face of the earth. That place needs to be completely shut down. We didn't see it from Cal Berkeley. We didn't see it from Weber State University. I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a cake? I'm a biologist. I'm a science professor. They've committed such blatant fraud. Well, it's Fukushima. No, just nuclear meltdowns. For every action, there's a reaction. That's fundamental science. So you're telling me there's no byproduct from the meltdowns of Fukushima, Japan. You need your head examined. You know, it's the greatest mental illness in history, but the sheep believe. Because the sheep can't go there. They won't go there. You might as well be talking Martian to them. And they just extort. This is the greatest criminal enterprise in human history. The Untouchables. The Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate. And everybody goes along. So, coincidence that Dana and I both had heart attacks at the same time? I don't know. You know, coincidence the Pacific Ocean completely, radically a cloud in 2011, 2012. When it comes to science, coincidence doesn't get it. You have to do the field work. First you hypothesize knowledge, then you do the field work, then you defend your work. What do you get for defending your work when you were right the whole time? Kevin Blanch, March 2011. These are full-blown out meltdowns. They're lying. Only person on earth calling a meltdown. Oh, I'm Arnie Gundershield. He called it a hydrogen blast for years. His wife used to be the spokesman for the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate. I mean, please, these are the people they prop up and put on TV. You know, oh, God. Helen, oh, God, go sell another book. Kevin, you can't use the F word at my anti-nuclear symposium. What? I told her, right? I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a cake? I'm an anti-nuclear activist, what's Fukushima? Please. they're profiteers. I mean, I've been in it for all the right reasons. And what a fight it's been since 2011. I mean, you think that's a coincidence? I got sick in 2011, attacked. I got ML leukemia at de novo, given 2 months to live in 2011. I spent off and on 5 years in a bone marrow transplant. I've had open heart surgery twice now. My perfectly good heart. I was born with a serious heart murmur. It's a birth defect. I knew it was always there. Of course, the cancer treatment accelerated it. Nobody would touch me because Mike Lee kicked me off Medicaid in 2015 after I forked over $1 million. That's their game. Any anti-nuclear activists, they slander you, they attack you. We were talking about the Million Mass March. My daughter's like, you need to write a book. I says, I need to write books. The original group that started the Million Mass March, based on the Fukushima meltdowns, based on the murder of Danielle Willard here in Utah, based on the murder of Aaron Swartz. Did we ever get any credit? We did all that dirty work in Ferguson, in Baltimore, in Brooklyn, but we did all that dirty work in Utah. And Black Lives Matter comes in, co-ops it, but more power to them, whatever. The original group that started the Million Mass March, do you know how many of us are dead? Gigantic amount. Again, the slander. You don't think it takes a toll carrying this burden? And you have to do it. Think about it. The tide pool work didn't get done. The salmon work, the well work, you wouldn't even know about Fukushima and Kevin Blanch and Dana Durnford. Dana's in a hospital clinging to life right now, fighting for his life. Most likely preparing for surgery. It's a miracle he lived through it. I told him last night, I texted him, look, 90% of the battle of a heart attack is making it to a hospital while you're still alive. I says, you're there. Don't you die on us. You hang in there. I don't know how I didn't die. Even the doctors and they did it. I got a new team of doctors, but they're like, when you're telling your heart doctor who's monitoring your heart valve that they replaced just 5 years ago and tell them, I can feel it burning in the center. It's shooting down my left arm. It's saying it's, and he looks you right in the eyes and says, no, it's not heart. It's not heart. Yeah, it is. Telling my general practitioner. I'm telling his PA. We're not talking once. I'm talking several times right to their face. And I have to argue, and my daughter has to argue inside the hospital with him. Look, I think he had a heart attack. They're ready. I was just patient. I mean, you have to fight. And I mean, it's outrageous. Why do we even schedule appointments? Checkups, they call them. Let's check up on the heart. Oh, you're good, bye. Here's a bill. It's outrageous. It's fraud. It's malpractice. But it's like Dana and I both, all these years, everything that's happened is, I'm being attacked viciously by the Department of Energy, the NEI, which we tracked it down. We traced who they were. There were dozens of these trolls just viciously attacked. There's felonies in all 50 states of the United States. I'm in critical condition, clinging to life with AML de novo leukemia. My chest split open twice. I've videoed my central alignment. I've videoed in the hospital. Unarguable. To attack someone like that, nobody else on earth could get away with it. Nobody. They would be hate crimes. They would have to any anti-nuclear activist. You do whatever the fuck you want in this country. Sugar wars, molasses wars, Texas wars. This is the nuclear industry is the cocaine cowboys. Plutonium. They're 10 times worse. They just do whatever they want. Get away with whatever they want. Nobody challenges them? Fuck them. I'll challenge those pieces of fucking shit. They murder my father in the Nevada test site. They take perfectly healthy, beautiful, incredible men, march them in the Nevada test site, and say, the deal, let's guinea pig our own men. And you're okay with that. You don't think that mutated into their children? You don't think this heart defect was from that? You're nuts. You know, it's as obvious as the scars across my face. I was not born with these scars across my face, my chest. I have so many scars on my body now. I was not born with these scars across my face. It took years of living in this violent place. Stand on integrity. Don't be a corrupt, thieving prick. This country is so corrupt. It's unbelievable. Every time you hear a story, NBA, sport, and retro goes back, oh, they fixed this game, they did this game. I mean, this country is so grotesquely corrupt. People will do, if you haven't learned that by now, start watching some freaking miniseries and documentaries about culture in this country. It's all corrupt. Every time you go down a rabbit hole, you think somebody, oh, they got rich. Corruption, 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 corruption. We have an integrity crisis in this country. Hardcore, which developed, went out to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. What they do to us? Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Whoa, what did they do to us? Went off to Iraq, let's go murder 2 million Iraqis. There were Saudis that did not. I mean, when they pulled that freaking wool over the sheep's freaking eyeballs, I'm like, whoa. Nuclear energy is clean, green. Michael Hastings, Aaron Swartz, Megan Rice. What'd they do to all them? Huh. And this country goes along. So hang in there, Dana. He's a tough dude. I hope he didn't get serious damage to his heart. I'm hoping maybe, they can bypass the damage and get his heart ruined. That's a danger with a heart attack. It'll kill it. Didn't mind, but it knocked out the infraction. So I have a pacemaker now. Like my daughter says, I get in that heart, it's so clean and beautiful. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and I says, look what those guys did to it. I got a good doctor now. Look what they did to my perfectly beautiful good heart. Knocked my electrical system completely out. I have to live with a pacemaker the rest of my life. It was the valve. He got in there and he says, yep, that valve was all fucked up, all clogged up. Just like I told them. They can't even run a freaking Explorer. They just go through your wrist. Can't do it. Same with Dana. I told Dana here a couple months ago, I think it's probably your heart, Dana. Everything's going on because he was so fatigued, so tired, and he kept having issues. Doctors wouldn't hear from him. All I got to do is go into your wrist, explore. Going through your groin, explore. While you're awake, it's not that complicated of a procedure. They're like, oh, whoa. There it is. Sure shit, it caused right at the top of the valve to rip. Twice I had 2 heart attacks. And they still wouldn't treat me. I had to fight them. I got good care once I got in. And I got a good doctor who did the surgery. I'm 3 weeks today from the surgery of this, but I'm about 16, 17 days, 18 days from the pacemaker. The one in my groin, I'm a freaking bruised up nightmare mess. But it's brutal. So, you think it's a coincidence we both had heart attacks at the same time? I don't know. Stay tuned.